Hey class, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing well. This is week 5 of CISS 350 Disaster Recovery. Before we get started, just wanted to do a couple quick housekeeping items. First off, I want to apologize about last week's content. For some reason, the system was supposed to publish everything Wednesday night. For some reason, it did not. And in lieu of that, I'm going to extend week 4, module 4's assignments out for a couple days. Please get everything in by the weekend. So by, February 14th or February 13th, 11:59 p.m. Go ahead and try to submit everything by then. But it doesn't mean, I'd rather have you guys submit it earlier, because it doesn't mean that Module 5 and this week's due dates are going to be extended as well. Okay? So just make sure you remember that. Because this week we're going to have quite a bit of writing, and it's going to, the foundations of, this week's assignment is going to come from what we did last week. Okay? So it's better to get that done sooner than later and actually start this week's assignment this weekend. That's my recommendation, because it's going to take quite a bit this week of writing. Okay. But with that, let's go ahead and jump into this week. Go ahead and log into Canvas and go to your modules. Jump into Module 5. And Module 5, or Week 5's overview, kind of goes over, we're going to be reviewing chapters 8 and 9. So first off, I want you guys to read chapters 8 and 9, and then I also have some PowerPoint discussion, or PowerPoints for chapters 8 and 9 uploaded as well. Go ahead and skim and review those as well. Afterwards, I do have a couple videos from Professor Messer discussing about recovery that I would like you guys to review as well, because, this week we're going to be, from a content perspective, talking about the recovery portion of disaster recovery. Okay? And that's something that you will need to understand before writing your disaster recovery plan. So go ahead, make sure you read, make sure you understand, some those main concepts within chapters 8 and 9, and Professor Messer videos definitely goes over them. Some key concepts and points that you will need to implement and integrate into your plan, which will definitely help. So let's quickly go through this. Here's your chapter 8 and 9 PowerPoints. Here are your recovery videos. Okay, go ahead and check them out. They should be right here. 1, 2, 3. Only 3 of them. I will provide this Professor Messer link in general if you guys want to learn more about some specific security, want some more resources about security in general. Go ahead and check this out. There's a bunch of good videos. Professor Messer does a great job of really explaining security topics very concisely and effectively. So highly recommend, if you want some more training, go ahead and check this out. I'll also put this up for you guys. But regardless, let's see where we're at. Those are the videos for this week. And now this is your project. Okay, so this week's assignment. So first off, there's not going to be a quiz this week, because I want you guys to focus on this project, this assignment, right? This is going to be your main project for the whole course. This is what the bulk of your points for this whole course is going to be made up of. And this assignment is going to be actually your first rough draft. Okay? The more detail, the more effort you put in your rough draft, the easier your final draft will be, which is going to be due either the next week or the following week. I have to double check on that. Okay? But yeah, so this week we're going to be drafting the very first of your contingency plan. Okay. So first off, if you need a quick sample of a contingency plan, go ahead and check out page 539 of your book. All right. But for this contingency plan, I want you guys to think about your assignment from last week. Okay. Last week you selected a business and, a specific process or procedure that they do, or system that they have and do, or service that they provide. And this week, we're going to produce a draft of the contingency plan for that. Okay? It's going to be a minimum of 4 pages, and there's specific items I want you guys to hit in that contingency plan. Now, it can be more than 4 pages, by all means. The more you do, the more detail it is, the more points you will receive, right? Minimum is 4 pages. Okay? So we're going to take a look at all the chapters we've read so far throughout the book, and gather specific topics like asset inventory, recovery, user training, and write little portions or sections of each of those topics and how we have to implement it into our contingency plan in our use case or in our project or fictitious business. All right. So, in other words, we have our business, okay, that we selected last week. We have our process procedures already, mapped out in our heads, right? It's going to be, at least 4 pages. So the first half, or I guess like the first part, I want you guys to write a half page on identifying all mission critical applications and processes, right? You would want to rank these according to priority, identify permissible downtime, if any, right? Some are mission critical. Sometimes you literally cannot take a system down because it'll affect the health and health and safety of public citizens, right? So that kind of stuff needs to be identified in this first half page, or this first section, I guess. All right, and you can use pages 63 to 71 to review some of this asset inventory and identification process for review. Now, I also want you guys to also write another half page on inventory of equipment and supplies. This will vary based on business type, and you guys have to be kind of creative on this portion. All right, what does your business do? You can definitely utilize some of the information gathered from last week's assignment. It will definitely help fill in this specific portion. Next, I want you to discuss backup procedures, how frequently backups are done and where they're stored, if there's an alternate site for the business, how it's located, how it can be accessible. Do you have a hot, cold site? What is it that you have? What is your backup procedures? Again, if you need help identifying this portion, use chapter 3 and answer questions on page 102. Will definitely, help you get that information you need. Next, I would like you guys to write half a page at least on identifying vulnerabilities for your specific business. Again, this is going to vary depending on your business type. Okay? And all these different items that I'm listing right now, it's not just like you're going to write half page. Make sure that they're formatted correctly based off of, a contingency or a template of a contingency plan or a disaster recovery plan. Okay? So make sure the template is there. That's pretty important. I don't want just half pages glued together, right? make sure there's actually a template so it looks legitimate, right? But anyways, moving forward, I would also like the next part, at least a page of identifying recovering procedures for 2 different attacks, right? We already discussed kind of like denial of service from last week. So maybe something I would recommend is probably ransomware. That's definitely another attack, but you're not limited to use denial of service and ransomware. You can completely think of 2 different types of attacks. Those are just pretty much easy knockoffs, right? You can do. Use information for attack and success and case on page 140 as a template, and also see some stuff in chapter 8. Okay, so first I would like you to explain the type of attack, what it's doing, how it's affecting your system, application, your processes, and how you will identify it, and what the recovery procedures are for that type of attack. So that's 1 page. Next, I would like a half page of identifying detection procedures and any detection equipment that is used. So chapters 5 and 7, you'll probably need to combine, kind of come up with some stuff on your own for your fictitious business. So I think I spoke a little too early on the identification portion in the first and the last section. So this 1 pager. So put your identifying and detection systems procedures in this next half page. All right. The next section, I would like another half page on user training, and then a half page on testing procedures, right? Do you guys have tabletop exercises where you can actually test to see if your procedures work? And then a fourth of a page of fictional points for context for the plan, right? John Doe is CIO and should be contacted if X happens, right? What is it? Mary Jane is the secretary of the organization and should be contacted in the event of any type of ransomware, right? Make sure you have your matrices out, and what's it called? Have your roles identified, okay? And who does what, and their contact information. Obviously, you can make it up, okay? Now, these specific items, they don't really have to go in. I mean, it makes more sense to write it in this specific order, but based on your template, however it is, follow your template, right? This is just usually how templates will write it out, okay? Now, Appendix B contains a sample plan. You can use it as a reference. You may use headings, but do not copy the paragraph text. So if you guys go ahead and jump into your modules again, if you scroll down to Appendix B, what am I thinking? In your book, sorry. Appendix B in your book, it should have, that specific template that you're looking for. Okay. Now, once you write this all out, go ahead and post it on, Canvas. And I would like you guys to respond to at least 2 other students providing constructive feedback. All right. Make sure you draft it in either Google Doc, Word Doc, something that can, you can easily go back and, update it, right? Based off of some of the feedback that I may give you or some of the other students may give you. Make sure that you're using proper punctuation, grammar, capitalization. College level course should be doing it at a college level degree, right? And no plagiarism. There's a plagiarism checker in the background, so you will be detected and be given a 0 if there is any identification of plagiarism. And one more thing, I highly do not recommend using if you work at an organization and you have access to their disaster recovery plan, I don't really recommend you taking that and copying it and putting it in as your own, because this stuff does get published to the internet eventually. And you don't want to be liable and have your business coming after you and say, why are you publishing our disaster recovery plan? So, yeah. So anyways, yeah, please post this by Wednesday evening at 11:59 p.m., February 16th, and respond to at least 2 other classmates. And as I mentioned, this isn't going to be pushed just because week 4 stuff got pushed a little bit. So that's why I want to definitely make sure that, hey, try to finish week 4 stuff as soon as possible so you can get a head start on this. Because you're going to need at least anywhere between 3 to 5 hours to write this out this week. Okay? But other than that, that's about it. There's no quiz for this week, just FYI. Just assignment. I want you guys to focus on the assignment. But other than that, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Please let me know if you need help with anything or are looking for any specific feedback before you actually post. More than happy to help out. But other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you guys soon. All right. Thanks. Have a good one. Bye.